It's time, it's time, it's time. Today is September the 11th, 2025, and it is 5:15 a.m. I live alone, I train alone, I win the title alone. I live alone, I train alone, I win the title alone. I live alone, I train alone, I win the title alone. James Clubber Lane, played by Mr. T in the classic Rocky 3 movie. Now, within the Rocky series, most people like Rocky. Most people like Apollo Creed. But I don't really notice a lot of people that like Clubber Lang, played by Mr. T. Clubber Lang is the villain in Rocky 3. But I didn't really see him as a villain in Rocky 3 because he just was a man that had a hunger, that had a thirst, that had a desire to be champion. And he felt and he knew, and it was a fact, that Rocky was ducking him. Mickey set up all his title defenses against guys that were beatable or guys that were over the hill. And that softened Rocky. While Clubber Lang was running through people, cold assassin. Okay. He had a mission, he had a specific target that he was locked in on. And that specific target was the championship of the world. And the one man that had it was the now celebrity Rocky Balboa, who by this time had gotten fat. I quote Frank White from his movie It'll Come to Me. But we all know who Frank White is, and we know the movie that he was in. For some reason, it's not coming to me, but it'll come back to me as this video goes on. The character of Frank White was played by Christopher Nolan. It'll come to me though. The title of the movie is not clicking right now, but it'll come to me. If I don't get to it, put it in the comment section. King of New York. There we go. King of New York is where I got this infamous quote from Christopher Walken. I am off. I said Christopher Nolan. My mistake. Christopher Walken played Frank White in King of New York, and he said the infamous quote, You guys got fat when I was away. And that's what Rocky did. As he became a celebrity, he was no longer that hungry fighter. And truth be told, in his early stages, he pretty much did the same thing Clubber Lang did. He lived alone and he trained alone up until he met Mickey. And Mickey was old school, you know. So with Mickey, you had to lock in. Okay. But what are you saying, Jack? In life, to be successful, there's a certain level of solitude that has to happen. There's a certain level of selfishness that has to happen. Success has a price. Success has a cost. And as a man, as a woman, as a boy, as a girl, as a male, as a female, you have to be willing to do what you have to do to be successful, to win. And it requires focus. It requires dedication. It requires hard work. And in the movie Rocky 3, you can see the comparison in the first, leading up to the first fight between James Clubber Lang and Rocky Balboa. Rocky Balboa was doing media training, half training, where Clubber Lang was doing the real training. And I remember the first time watching Rocky 3, something was off. I had a feeling that he was going to lose the fight. And the movie was pretty long. The movie was pretty long. Back then, you had it was a specific channel where you would see everything that was coming on. It was the TV Guide channel. And it was like, let's just say Rocky came on at 7 o'clock at night. It would probably go off around like 9:30, 10 o'clock. And it would have the line where it would say it. And leading up to the first fight, it was still a lot of the movie left. So something told me that he wasn't going to win this first fight. And he didn't. Okay. And Clubber Lang showed that hunger, showed that desire to beat Rocky. He wanted it more than Rocky. And then the second fight, Rocky wanted it more than Clubber Lang. My only criticism of Clubber Lang was he was a hothead. He was a hothead. But Clubber Lang was no joke. He was no joke. He was hungry. And he was willing to take out anybody that was in his way. Cold assassin. Okay. And in life, that's what you have to be willing to do. Life is a competition. Whether you want to believe it or not, life is a competition. And you have to be willing to move people out your way that are in your way. Because at the end of the day, there's two types of people in the world. You have the success and the unsuccessful. You have the winners, you have the losers. You have the kings and queens of the mountain, and you have the peasants of the mountain. The people that are up here, the people that are down here. And it's just that simple. You got to make a decision. on whether you want to be successful or not. You got to make a decision. Do you want the championship or not? You got to make a decision. Do you want to be at the top of the mountain or the bottom of the mountain or not? The time for spectating is over. The time for excuses is over. It's time to make a choice. It's time to make a decision. And be willing to pay the price and be willing to pay the cost for success. Let people think what they want to think about you. What they think about you is not a reflection of you. What they think about you is not a reflection of you. What they think about you is not a reflection of you. It's a reflection of themselves and what they're not doing. Whether it's good or bad. They're talking about you. They have an opinion about you. But what is their opinion about themselves? Psycho-cybernetics. Your self-image. What you say about yourself is a fact. What you think about yourself is a fact. What other people think about you is an opinion. Only what you think about yourself is a fact. Care less about what other people think about you, whether it's good or bad. Because if you don't believe it, what difference does it make? Why would it matter? Good or bad? So I encourage you, learn from this quote from the classic movie Rocky III from James Clubber Lang, one-time heavyweight champion of the world, the man that gave Rocky his only loss after he defeated Apollo Creed, James Clubber Lang. I live alone, I train alone, I win the title alone. I live alone, I train alone, I win the title alone. I live alone, I train alone, I win the title alone. What's your prediction for tonight? Pain.